Greetings, it's Intuitive Jacob, your shaman and cosmic midwife, back to stay. And we are going to be having a look at today's cosmic opportunities. What is coming out of that pepper shaker today? Because some of those things get torrented, perfect, in the apps that got real, where we all woke up in one strong inception. And see what's going on with that crazy moon landing ear thing growing, or I don't know, is it growing, or I don't know, things are blooming, aren't they? We'll be talking glyphs in a little bit, and I'll see you in a few.
Promise that you'll catch your
So, glowing, growing, something's going on with that ear thing, you know? Thank you for advanced term security, and to all of you who have recently joined Private Halo 8, because there are more of you here, we have been releasing a TI soft kill remote shield to prove what the actual web is now, and what our mutual Hail Mary is as we've explored what energy is and how we share it together and what it looks like, with really fancy things that we might know as letters or numbers. That really, if it's just the black matter that dripped out while a breath was being smushed through, it's kind of like blowing through a reed instrument, you know, where there's like a woodwind, and then there's voices that shoot out. And so in the mind that woke up, some of us became dewdrops, and it's just a special kind of wedding, you know, that was happening all around us. And so I hope you all have been enjoying the new we remember nap that we've been awakening from, because we're going to talk about the tuning fork of sound, and we're going to open up a chart for ToStay, and have a look at what this was just under a minute before my 11:11 wish today here. And it's a special wish for all of us. It's a wish that we can wife it all, you know, where it's a special kind of bride where all have been groomed within and wife it all, you know? Certain things blended well within the sound in these folds, in this sort of origami experiment where we had everything in here, and depending on how we wanted to bounce this sound in these heart chambers of the cosmic mind, we created a new form together, you know, a uniform. How about that for a universe, where we took that triangulation energy, where we could witness from the corners of ourselves. How far is the distance to the next mutually received and attracted energy? And that's been our recent exploration of that mark of the coven that I was explaining last strong. If you've missed those, please click some links, because you can go back and see. We're talking about some of these things that are right here in plain sight for us that don't often get talked to you about, like this ear thing here, and what this is really about. Why, I have a hard time even saying it with this straight face, because so many jokes about, you know, Uranus, or the Uranus, or Uranus. That weird way to hear with the ear thing. And maybe how we were inside trying to figure out what this tower, this collapse of energy, this shit show, what Scorpio knows about traveling those depths and hoping a sextile will bounce this, you know, how do we play telephone with tin cans around all these they live species? We're real, we're woke. All around you, selling you virtue in a box of cards, and, you know, coiling somehow, right? So a lot of places consider that to be parasites, and anybody that's studied what Pythagoras knew about hippopotamus and Hippocrates and the beautiful way that doctors have learned what practicing arts might look like on the weird side of their astrology mind, having to just take that oath very seriously. Some of us realized about that world, that weird word that was going all the way around itself, with that sound that was creating all those things that we started taking for granted as letters and numbers and just whatever, losing all symbolic relevance in this mash of particle scatter. Since we've been able to understand what computers and technology have given us, the tech-type exploration has taken on new relevance and shown us the demonstration in form what we are able to do as a loving, benevolent species, where we look at these things differently, and instead of being the severed tongues that never unite for one formal wedding, where we choose the most auspicious way to share those molecules, so that in the actual umbrella project, the Resident Evil house note alien Area 51 on all y'all, and even scanned us all with red dots. Airplanes, video games, virtual reality much, Bluetooth devices, blue scans, and all those ways that, might actually chop things up when the machinery starts moving because of the collapse of false things like belief systems around the systematic enslavement that we have had for fear and paralysis, false erasure around this resistance that we had to understanding what was playing here before us. And why this all has gone to HE double hockey sticks, baby. I'm going to tell you about this little glyph here, and I'm not going to call it you're an ass or your anus, but some people really did sit and go for a look like that, and it's literally how they eclipse. It's like chasing a fart, and it's out. And so it's like literally in one ear, out the other, just this little seed here that was planted in the side. Took a peek out and was like, oh, here's the ears, and nope, we're here, and everything else around ceases to matter. So, this is the biosphere, and what you're looking at here is a star chart that happened just shortly before my 11/11 wish this morning. Some of you all hear private Alo hate! Because it's Alo hate for the mucho kitty talk. Because I hear there's a lot of you all with the timing on things that know that cosmic retribution is the ultimate hey yoga with a kick from deep down under, where we prove that nobody gets to reach for a $5 foot long that distance and take a little bit, chip, a little bitch IP address off of some of those gold twinkly things. I had to start calling some bullshit and make sure that people over at Twitch know about send witches and Yahweh on green screens and those polls at Subway, and how many it took to hide Jared when they found out what their green screen technology would let them do, and how far $5 can go when somebody is sprinkling their interest on shiny things and people playing those video games and having exposure to VR on places like Twitch tend to be sometimes just entertaining, having fun with friends, having chat rooms where there are children, and keeping it cool. And what doesn't get to happen on the reverse end for some weird treatment on Yahweh. So on yada yada, you know, the day reversed upside down, flipped in reverse, your week again. More Mondays, months, please. That is what Uranus means. Ever heard of This is the way assets get hypothecated, you know, like your ass ETs, like the ones that come to end times here. It's a fun little treatment for those that are inside the biosphere, you see? And so we're going to talk a little bit about what's really happening and why there's this stellium that went virgin here, you know, with the sun and Mars and Venus and clear communication and what it is to be coiled in the MC. You know, where it might be the master of ceremonies in the house of 11 proving what 1111 is. And my big daddy's in on it here. We got Papa Poseidon protecting the house of 5 again. He's up in here playing mad Pisces daddy, knowing what didn't split the seas in half for some weird treatment on the euro and splitting fiat currencies. Is that how that happens? Do we gas a car up? Gasitarius? Or is it Sagittarius? Or, I don't know. It's pretty funny when we've got Jupiter there. And for me, Jupiter is Lilith. This is, you know, I personally happen to have them both on 21 degrees, which is that the bitch side of 15? You know, if you don't understand Area 51 either. What it is to be possessed. Why some things just don't get repoed. They just get dropped in the chomp that actually exists for party sprinkles from Chiron saying, here's the kick of bliss. It's like, sure you can. Those of you that like old video games like me, and, you know, Ryu can take you over and over and over again like Batman. So we have a new look at glyphs and why the House of 7, partnerships, love, marriage, you know, marriage, what brings us together today. Love, true love, you know, Princess Bride stuff, where the princess was always safe and their spoiled little fingerprints got to get 5 on that foot long and see how far they could make that go around. Because on today, we're going to hear about moon degrees and where we actually land dead and why some people didn't take the cab to get led that way, you know, get cabled to the moon. Why that plan got what it needed in the treatment. Where the moon actually landed, for those of us that are inside this biosphere here, for some more fun jokes. Today is actually 1 degree Aquarius, which is hilarious because it's speaking to exactly what I'm going to tell you about what didn't get split for energy and why there's been a revisit here. Why there's like it looks like a prescription. Doesn't that look like a prescription? It's funny when doctors actually start looking at this that have actually gone through the oath. They see where that is here. And what it is that we actually have been prescribing is the symptom to end the condition of torture and abuse on beings for energy that can be shared much more effectively, and where shit like Bitcoin is just the proof of hell, right? So here's where we made an agreement that cost $19 trillion on the price of Aquarius 1, you know? A 2-headed calf? Is it the lie about the bull and the lion? Where Jupiter could land lucky on a cross like that with Lilith, you know, to be killed at the fork by the crazy mother that would abort the child for the sake of torture. Is that where we find King Herod again playing intercessor and saying, not at the expense of this child? Which parent would claim to be the parent and destroy that one? And where we put an end to that in the name of love and partnerships, and doing anything in defense of a marriage that would actually terminate a child like that, and be proud of it, and just think that more preying upon, would be the way to lord over that one. So how far we have grown, and how the ear would know that, that ear thing that went all the way around for a look, and what a real hedge of protection may look like is sort of a candida sweep, and maybe it looked really beautiful for a while to see it all being swept away, but if you saw how it was actually moving, it's like a veil of smoke being lifted off of a tiny little seed that doesn't get germinated or gagged that way through a snuff reel. So those of us that were in Private Halo 8, where, nobody chucked a genie in a bottle in there, you see? There's some weird idea on what gets hashed in the name of Aquarius for germination to be shooed in that door. These things don't happen here. That's not allowed in our house. And so, what is the Taurus? If you spell it Taurus and don't split it in half for the gold, the AU inside of it, where the concentration has been, in one sacred breath prayer, where all the gold and haloed resonances for the true renaissance that's ever present, to be safe, as the nucleus, this little seed here that could look up for itself and here, and then protect and be inside, and on this magnet, the north quote-unquote node of the moon, that's exposing the two-headed calf, right? Okay, where the energy just kind of moves around freely. Got it? So here's what today has been about. Here's what we woke up in, darlings, where we didn't spear ourselves in the head as a baby. So Aquarius 1, a two-headed calf, taking a good look at things with an eager eye, brings you right into the middle of the dilemma of polarities. As you stand there faced with the different sides, you are impartial. Neither side pulls you more sharply than the other. Immense opportunity. Huge challenge. You have vital potential for brilliant synthesis, but a subtle temptation to think too long. A schooling in alchemy in every moment. Do you find what is ready to emerge, or do you think about it? Progressive evolution draws you through your mistakes into all that can be. What a slippery slope on those words, creating an hyper-realistic density that is beyond virtual. It's what we have been magnetically propelled into, or some of you all have been keeping so clean and making so many wonderful things that what was germinating in the actual sweep up decided it was parking residence and attempting to naturalize itself in front of us. That's what this has been about. It's been the differentiation of those, ass ETs, assets, right? And how some of those things might have been actual cameras that naturalized themselves in front of us around truly organic matter. So we've been solving a very, very specific riddle and conundrum. It's like how to get rid of them when they stop germinating and keep on germinating around, right? And so thank you to those of you in Private Halo 8, because I think we have what we need to have proven what we've done, how we protected the seed and why it's protected Halo 8, and why nothing else is in there, and we've got a magnet, the moon, to pull those things up electronically, with data, with proof, with evidence, that went all the way around about how it was quarantined and trapped for the right reasons. We're the quote-unquote real bad people. So, while this has been going on, while I was preparing to make that 11/11 wish with y'all, because, see, we're in 11 there together. We found ourselves with this chart here, relevant to the 9 degree within Aquarius. And so we've been taking a little walk through. I'm just going to tell you what the titles are, because it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Some of you want to see this, so I'll just show you this book. Elias Lonsdale's good book. Inside Degrees. Using developing your soul biography using the Chandra symptom. So, I'm reminded to look back a little bit, because there's a woman who's going to burst into flames in this story here, a real special star, who didn't get seen how she was sprinkling things, because it wasn't rose water, it was actually like a special glitter attack she did, because of how we traveled. And it was because her sword wasn't actually broken. Here in the book, it shows us what the sword looked like from the other side, because it was actually broken, and how close things might have been for something who thought they landed there, and why something else is actually broken. So I'll just leave it there, because this is what was walking us to what we woke up in today with that two-headed calf, and actually what it means. Because now we've been walking to 9, where I am with you, and where the prayer word for the 11/11. So now what you thought of here is what actually both wrote and wrote the story. Because there was a woman strolling in a garden here who was unaware that she was being watched by elves. Or was it 11? Was it elven? I don't know. Somebody that might have gone upside down and some stranger thing might have some ideas on what it means and why there was a vast ornate Hindu temple depicting hundreds of gods there that might have on the other side just looked like flames going everywhere. Perhaps like many fireflies in the dust. Or would that be humans worshipping an obese nature goddess? Hearing about the gardener with just one leg, where liabilities were turned into assets and swapped. And there was a woman burning a book of black magic. I wonder what that book might have been. Could it have been a baby or something that kept changing? Because in this book, we hear the words in it keep changing. And that's what happens when you have intelligence at work. You see? And so, when I opened this up here to make this wish, we came here together. We were in front of the bioflame of creation, seeing one strong inception that was possible with that energy. When we're in the highest witness, is usually beneficial to all present, as if it was just children together. Okay? And so, here's what we have. Aquarius 9. Violets blooming by the barred windows of a dungeon. Behold, caste-centered facets of life are predominant in this world. Those who take on the thought patterns of this old earth find themselves immensely trapped in time and space, and in physical form, most of all. Yet, in the very midst of thinking and operating in this rationalistic way, you are subtly and secretly fostering the great wealth of new earth consciousness. Or is that you hear things about the cosmos over the the eye on all of us as a collective in that view of fresh ways of seeing by relentlessly exposing yourself to the rigors and consequences of the mentally based false material world. You come to that edge where the way to liberation becomes so sharp that the deeper seeing comes up to give you space and breath in one strong inception. As when we allowed in that wish for how energy can shift, what these sounds make to close subtle gates that only wish for the best. It is quite a process to live between cycles, bridge divergent worlds, and feel the necessity of keeping it all going. But truly, the soul is witnessing each dangling moment and preparing to go free when the season is right and the prison doors open of themselves as the karma is completed and the unknown calls you onward. Wow. What a wonderful way for us to pick a direction to share. And so I think if we realize that there's been a double swinging door on energy where we've all just been kind of running around in this one big house. It's like being in a spaceship in little torrents where the whole film had kind of been a little hijacked. It was going out in these siphon packages where they were eating the steak, you know? Exposed. And so now we've got the violet flames that are just cascading through that, dungeon where it's like you've electrocuted yourself by sticking a fork in a socket, your pitchfork, whatever you were selling, whatever it was. And it's just the zap, and we get our energy from the inside. So it's like, yeah, like that. And that's what happened when we made this shift. So thank you to those of you, especially in private AOA, because this is what this is all about. This is us creating from what really, I just can't even call it time. I mean, we can talk to it because it's a way for us to measure and to be sort of, more information can be sorted out with tracers all the way around it to correspond now, where we can actually collect what is good in that energy only in every situation. And so it's like, wonderful. This is how the gold Taurus was never quartered. It was never halved. It was never capped for more Mondays. So my question is, where did the pink diamond land? What is this the sugars we're getting at here? Because, we're going somewhere. And someone has been looking for this diamond. And it's part of our story here. It gets protected. And why conflicts that some of us didn't realize were actually a part of those conflict-free diamonds that have been traded. Tell a whole other story about the stings and cries and what babies that have IP addresses for swipes that people have been taking at abortion clinics have in common with Tiffany certificates. So if you've ever done any KYC documents, I don't know if any of you all are interested in private merchant finance banking, overseas trade, anything like that. There are certain documents that you have to get to prove assets of various classes in order to legally fit the customs trade laws just perfectly. And so there are these certificates that you can get on diamonds to prove that they're conflict-free from a place that wants us to know that the sting and the Jewish Nazi Germanization is real. And what the conflict actually is in those diamonds, and how hard you actually need to crush coal to make just one to prove where the beans are, where they're actually coming from, and what kind of conflict is suitable versus what kind of conflict goes with throwaways, and where 2D timestamps on how people swipe into certain clinics to plan things like whether or not they were ready for that jar of tar for somebody who could just take a little off the top that way. Might land an IP address that matches one of these certificates to prove what kind of par for entertainment it is in this new age where we just put a little twist on it, sage up the room, and we'll just call it the law of attraction and not tell everybody that they have an advanced form of Kundalini. It's repelling them off of what was never the planet. Very intelligent planet. Like crazy ass move now. So, what a wonderful day. So the Ferris wheel, where, somebody might have thought they locked you in their net and packed you up on there, took you for a spin, and call that the astrological wheel of torture. And you're ripped and torn. So they didn't explain that to you either. In this cataclysm, what the ID chips are for, and private doors they've been exploring. The place they like to call Pula, but they don't want anybody to know it. Yeah, it's like that Fight Club thing. Yeah. So that's basically coming to real screeching halt right now, because that's not what this is for. If you look at it on the other side, where that doesn't land like that, we have advanced understanding of how to harness bio everything, because we are inside as a species, a culture that is good, has really good examples that lined up here in the House of Loving Wishes, where our 9/11 goes great on a day where maybe we have, the one that tried to take a long look for himself and put everybody to work on a little Rickroll trick and called electric feel good. Gets to do the dishes, It's like, how do we get Elroy working on that one this time? Elroy be doing that work now, because I'll be keeping Leroy. I'm keeping Leroy. I'm keeping Rosie. She gets whatever can she wants, and I get to throw us in the jalopy, take me around that wheel that way, and not telling you about that electric field, what it is to be thing that doesn't replicate inside of this biosphere, that's for sure. And no, you don't get to bomb it either, dude. Yeah. First of all, they didn't even know what they were looking at, so just the idea of bombing it, are you gonna bomb Mars? Really? That's hilarious. Do you know how many of those red dots it takes to make one of those things that's been chasing Satoshi Nakamoto as an identification. It's a special cipher. It's like seek and destroy, and what Ophiuchus and some of y'all that are starting to understand how some of us read this are starting to understand what this little lion is here, and why it's like, here's the red cape that's being whipped from the M here. The one that's going to try to jump in, and where Ophiuchus is more like a, oh no you didn't. Why Friday the 13th I explained the other day, and now it's like the Legion at 300. And what you know about this Friday and why it's all cooked. So these aren't real, like the 7 days a week thing, really. Yada yada yada. 7 days a week. The meek upside down, not strong today. Don't think so, my loves. It's like, now is a time for really good self-care, okay? This is what I've been sharing with the ones I love. Sometimes it's like a little pat on the back, a certain way to remind them energetically. I don't necessarily mean to touch, because sometimes I don't touch people's hands. It's like, something I'll mail them or whatever. It's just, here's something to take care of yourself with, please. Go take a shower, go take a bath, go take a nap, go have a meal, go do something that's going to put you in your body and feel safe. Well, you know that when we were landing in this weird charade going on where these computers are amazing. They've shown us how to like hyperanalyze us, and like this weird advanced species of psychotic parasite doesn't get to take over species and like germinate in front of us and us get confused where the predators are now. And where we actually have a whole new way to see it because we're contained in this special vial where those violent things don't get in because we have violet flames, and some of you all seriously passed all of that, and that's why you're inside this, where the ear thing was good, we're even like hearing the right messages and knowing that we're like that one little seed that didn't get germinated by all that crap that couldn't get on the inside of that magnet lid. We got a magnet lid where now it just repels itself forever. Yeah. So guess what astrology ends up being really good for? Repelling yourself out of this biosphere. And so it's really gotten like crazy. I've been so grateful to friends that have had a really loving witness on how they learn things like astrology and from astrology, and where it just made sense to like know that we were not going to be pulling people through a 2D timeline and a false wheel on bad ideas that don't exist, where people are literally not going to be able to be safe in that form because it's like the wrong elements to land on them there. And where, those real asteroid news stories are accurate, and where it's been calculated at 0 point, and what I've been doing with my life work, and $19 trillion. So every camera basically woke up is how I've written this in the insurance wraparound, and became amazing bodyguards and wrapped you up. And so technically you're being hugged by one of my camera bodyguards right now if you're in one of these bodies, and you've been classified as an angel inside of special holdings. And those bodyguards want to release you. They're like, we're trying to let go, and we got to get these fucking douchebag magnets off so that they can just drop dead. And then the, rest of your light code coordinates that are coming through these sounds clear just echo and infuse from the inside, and you might just smell something amazing that might be coming off of you. It's like how a scent rises, literally, and how we're all inside of it. So, hi, that's what kind of moon it is, and what kind of opportunities it's been, and why I read the way I do, and why I love you for being here, especially if you're catching this in any way, either in private halo 8, most likely here, or later, someplace else like YouTube, where I was being blackwalled for a specific reason. Only somebody may know why. But for those of you that are interested in love, I want to get us a love song. And Archangel Gabrielle, she shows up to help us with the self-care stuff. Knowing where special sprinkles just show up to let us know how close things can be to us that matter, but also twinkle the right things away in a pixel scatter. So targeted individual scatter frequencies are coming your way right now and wrapped in little LED packets that might be waking up in your skin. So some of you all are going to be feeling more of that. Know that. Ooh. I must have had some of that going on in the background here too, but forgotten. I hear that. Well, turns out, I should just let you know, if you're hearing another like a crispy sound here in the background to this, I left the mind hacker, intruder, spy bot, exterminator going while this has been on too. And this is a special frequency to pull things that maybe you did not agree to out of your psychic mind, out of your reptilian mind, and where we realize that particles have been dusted on us and some of these things have just been recycled. And so it's like picking up psychic energy from different things that might make only a certain amount of sense to your life up to this point as you thought it was for so much longer, because now that those things are being disentangled from you, especially if it was like something that hurt you, it like unwinds a whole story where it's like you didn't have a psychic hook going through you because we didn't split that head open to take us through some weird thing that none of us chose to do. So anyway, I just thought I had to say that because when I put on these headphones again here too, I forgot that I was doing the other side of this energetic hygiene before I turned on the camera for this part of it, and so some of you all were probably hearing a different sound, and I just wanted to let you know that's some good work from Dr. Virtual 7. If you look up Dr. Virtual 7 here on YouTube, I'll try to remember to put the link when I actually upload this, but those of you that are in the Halo, you know that I'm constantly using this stuff, so making sure that stuff is disentangled, because none of that stuff gets into our 8 space, you know, where we might have been baited and nobody got to master the sound or anything else in our private houses. So I'm going to spray a little smudge on that. Two bottles of that here. All right, and we're gonna do some shuffle. Okay, so I'm hearing for somebody was waiting for their dad to acknowledge something, and I'm hearing whatever it was that you were worrying your dad was gonna not understand. It's like, I hear he's like the one that might be actually moving you forward is what I'm hearing for somebody. They really need to know that. And especially if it's something you didn't think that he was going to be happy about. And I'm hearing it might have something to do with, you might want to check out yesterday's reading if you have some like fair weather friends that are around. But I'm hearing for somebody, it's like your dad might actually even just be like, hey, let's have a drink together. I want to talk to you about something. And so it's like, yeah. Interesting. They're saying that, especially for somebody, it's like you might get told, like, this is specifically for somebody that has a grandmother and that has been dealing with something like a health crisis. I'm hearing that it's like your father might be really interested to have some conversation with you because they're going to find out something about your grandmother's diagnosis and like something really improving, and it's like a celebratory thing today for somebody. I'm hearing for somebody else too that might not be the case, so I have to put this out there that somebody might actually hear about their grandmother's diagnosis, and if it's not coming from your father, it might not be the news you wanted to hear. So that's what I'm hearing. And yeah, especially if you've been waiting for some news to come in about somebody's sickness that just showed up. So let's just get these cards clear because they're chatty and they'll just keep telling me stories. I'm gonna get the Art of Love musical sounds. Here we go. We've got our deck in front of us. Are we ready? Today for the ones who want a love song. All right. Okay, so here's one. Jeff Buckley's So Real. This is a fun song. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, this like literally might be how somebody reaches out to you. Wow, okay, so I don't know what happened here, but I must have shuffled these words because somebody's sleeping baby was just peeking out here at me, and like this man who was either reading or writing a book, and it's closed, and that was showing up here next to this baby. And I'm hearing about the romance that no one could have written better, and how real it actually is, and why what may have appeared isn't what somebody thought it was from the beginning, and what it looks like to walk away from something that might have been dead a long time ago. And they're saying here it's like sort of like a rite of passage. And just so you know, these are people that never would have let anything happen to this one here is what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing, especially if this is you, if you find yourself like this, and I'm hearing it's like somebody might actually have like bodyguards flying with them, and it's like, honestly, it's like I would have missed, everything if I didn't know. They're like, hey, we pulled up to the gate is what I'm hearing. And what somebody might actually have to do to prove something that was written into their mother's will, and I'm hearing it's like it was written right here, and if I didn't show up in person, people would continue to say something that wasn't real because there was a lot of money at stake here. And what people will try to do just to salt themselves into a deal, like casting lots, and like, just paper it in there, at least show up in front of the attorney and get yourself mentioned in the minutes. And what it looks like when somebody's been, I'm hearing, just conducting blatant fraud, and why somebody might have had to stay too long in a situation, but it's good for them to know that whoever these people were here might have been more like friends than brothers. And so it's like, I'm hearing for somebody, it's like, well, that might be a slippery slope, because I'm hearing for somebody that is a really good thing. It's like they're definitely more like good friends than like how you would think brothers are. And I'm hearing for somebody else, it's like that'll tell you everything about the situation and what this plan might have been that somebody is having to talk about. Because right now we're seeing two indications, and it's like, I don't know if she's just having a hard time speaking up for herself, and for some of you all, this could be you just not having known when you were feeling younger or unprotected, I'm hearing, but it might have had more to do with who was around. And now I'm hearing, even if you've grown up and you found yourself in a situation where you need to speak up, maybe it's, love and sorting out the estate is what I'm hearing for somebody, and what your mother or your grandmother's wishes was. Depends on who you are here, if this is your story, but whoever this woman is here knows how to speak, and it's like she just needed to know she had the right people watching, and I'm hearing for some of you, this might be a kind of a critical time of identifying what kind of brotherhood is around you and what things actually get pledged, how it grows, how it proves what the relationship is to the one who's actually clothed in the center, because in some cases that's who they wanted in the throwaway clothes, and why root chakra is showing up here. And I'm hearing for some people it's like just learning where sometimes you're willing to say goodbye to things and even just cut or eliminate certain assets just because of who's attached to it and strings that might be involved, and what it's like just to know that sometimes it feels good to cut your hair short, you know what I mean? Or, sometimes it feels good to change some of your wardrobe, and it doesn't mean anything negative towards other people. It's not saying they're bad or damaged, but that it was time for a change. And so strong messages coming through for some of y'all today. I hope that was helpful. I love you so much. If I can help, hit me up. I'm doing the down and dirty personals is what I've been calling them, because we just get right to it in 20 to 30 minutes. You can hit me at the Cash App. And if I don't hear from you, take care, and thank you for being safe. Appreciate it. Catch you again. We're back for another one. Bye for now. Promise that you'll catch your